All right, hello everyone. I'm gonna get started here with the Chrysler K. Um, Tonight, I usually don't stream Saturdays, but I'm gonna be going till at least 9:30. I'll see if I can go a little bit past that, but I might be little bit tired at the end here today. Had a pretty long day. Decided to start with this, but I will be taking tank requests, of course. Um, I pretty much.
You need a
Oh.
website. Why not
Ah!
do it yourself?
Oh my god, that's loud. Sorry about that. I do not need a website. I already got a website. Holy freaking hell. Sorry about that, guys. Oh my god. Freaking I have a window open with my YouTube stream. For whatever reason, a freaking pop-up ad just popped up on it. Everything's muted. Holy shit. That scared the hell out of me. Um, anyway, now that my eardrums are now that my eardrums are, fine now. Basically, which sorry about that, guys. I have the volume turned up really loud in my headphones. Um, because I have the game noise, the in-game noise turned down so low, because of the basically when you get shot, it's really loud sometimes. So I have it really turned up loud. Yes, I can add the OHO and tank double and stuff. Um, but the reason I wanted to start with the Chrysler K here is kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit since last stream. I didn't go into too much depth about it, but I after this I'm gonna pull up a comparison between the T-32 and also the M6 mutant tank. Um, Pretty much looking at the three of them, like some people, I'm on the fence of the Chrysler K. I thought it was really freaking bad. I'm under the opinion now it's actually, I would say, not to say it complements the other two, the T-32 and the Mutant M6. However, I would say that it's actually a pretty decently balanced tank. I think the only stupid thing that Wargaming did was give its APCR more penetration, which I don't think that they even needed to do. But compared to the other two tanks, I actually think it fits in well between the two. Not that either's terribly, they're not the best two tanks. Um, I like the Mutant M6. T-32, I'm always on the fence about, but at least it's playable. But the gun blows, which is the problem on the Chrysler K here as well. But some people I've seen, freak out that the Chrysler K is overpowered, and some are calling it like completely terrible. But when you look at it compared to its peers, it's actually a decently balanced tank from Wargaming, which is kind of surprising in the current state of the game. But I'll get more into that after the battles over here. Considering, I guess, oh god, let's say this E4 is probably gonna end me. I'm, like, hoping he does not shoot at me. He has to get over that little berm to be able to get me. But pretty much the Chrysler K compared to crap, I guess got my engine damage. The T-32 and whatchamajig, the Mutant M6, which I guess over-angled there. It's the one with the least amount of gun depression and the least flexibility, in my opinion. But let me add the OHO, Pershing, E50. I got the Neil 2 on there already. Hello again, John. But all right, let me hop out of here. So I'm actually higher. I think the Chrysler K is a little bit better than I initially thought, to be honest. However, it's still. Let me bring up the comparison here. pretty much looking at the other two tanks, it's peers as far as American Tier 8 heavies. One's a premium, granted this one has preferential matchmaking, and the other's T-32. T-34 doesn't compare as closely because it has a different gun. But looking at the Chrysler here, you'll notice it has the most amount of DPM, and just barely edges out the T-32, and a bit more than the Mutant M6, but the Mutant M6 doesn't see Tier 10s. It has the best accuracy, best aiming time by a pinch. However, 6 degrees of gun depression combined with a rear turret, so it can't even use the gun depression off the back and the sides very well because the armor blows. So that's a huge advantage to both of these tanks, especially the T-32, because it doesn't have any weak spots when it's hull down. The M6 has a cupola that can get penned very easily and right below the mantlet. But otherwise, the only other thing that the Chrysler does have a better premium round, 260 instead of a 245 millimeter pen APCR, which Graham, this just worked. I just got a message from him. But more or less, the gun looks like initially, it's completely blows the other two out of the water. However, the gun depression and the rear turret's a pretty big advantage for the other two, specifically. Hit points, the T-32 wins, but not by much. Armor I'll get to in a second. Mobility, the Chrysler actually beats the other two out. In mobility, it's still not, like a super fast tank. It's decent for a heavy, but it's not, going to win any awards. And, the rest of the stats aren't anything telling outside of, the T-32 has better view range than both of the premiums. But getting to the armor, essentially the Chrysler here, it doesn't have any weak spots on the turret outside of premium rounds, hitting the flat bits on the cupola and also the flat bits on the turret front. From tier 9 10 tanks, some tier 8 TDs can go through as well. But but more or less, the main weak spot you're going to find is 211 millimeters effective on the lower plate. Moving to the Mutant M6, which doesn't see tier 10s, you have a pretty freaking strong frontal hull. However, a weak spot under the mantlet and the cupola. Cupola is much weaker, like 130, I think, effective, and about 200 underneath the gun. But overall, the armor still is very comparable on the Mutant than the Chrysler, but it doesn't have a rear turret to contend with, so that helps the Mutant out. And then finally, the T-32, essentially the whole front hull is about the same strength, a little bit weaker on the lower plate, and also this little machine gun as the Chrysler K's lower plate. It sits around 200, 220, and then down to like 180 millimeters effective, lower plate being the weakest part. And the turret is pretty much the same as the Chryslers. As far as strength, there's no real weak spots. However, the T-32 is that front turret and better gun depression, so it wins in that category. So to me, the people saying that the Chrysler isn't balanced, its armor's too strong. Initially, I thought it was a little bit too strong, but it almost needs the lack of weak spots in the front, which, yes, you need a lot of premium rounds if you're in a lower tier, which thank you very much, Colshino, or Sinho for the subscription. It almost needs it because it doesn't have a great gun, has no gun depression, mobility's good for a heavy, but nothing stellar, has worse view range than most tier 8s, and its weak spot at 211, most things can pen that face it except for tier 6s and some 7s. So in a way, it's balanced decently. It's actually borderline say weak when you're against 9s and 10s, unless you throw a lot of APCR at people. But just thought I'd go over that real quick, since I wasn't able to do that last stream. But to me, the Chrysler is a little bit better than I initially thought. However, at the same time, I don't think it's say Object 252U and stuff to where it's broken and unbalanced. I actually think it's actually a decently balanced tank from them. Alright, so Skoda T40 request. M4 Rev, I can do that. And I can do the Chrysler K again. Yes. Basically, I'm streaming tonight. I tried saying it a few times in my past couple streams. I'm not going to be able to stream tomorrow night. So I'm streaming tonight. Trying to go a little bit longer than usual. 9:30, maybe towards 10. Depending on how tired I am. Tomorrow I have a graduation to go to for Ryan. But, yeah. And then this upcoming Wednesday, I'm going to schedule it after the stream's over here. I didn't think I was going to have to switch another stream this soon. Wednesday, I'm actually going to stream earlier than usual, so it'll help some out, honestly. But instead of streaming 9 to 12, it's going to be like 8 to 10 or even 7 to 9. I have somewhere I have to travel to that day, so I'm going to have to stream earlier in the morning. But I'll still be streaming that day. I did get your request, Corey. Hello, Mojo. I can do the Matilda. Which, oh, I hope I don't get into like a little rant, because I was talking about it before the stream here, because I think Graham brought it up. But the whole Sir, which I always botch the freaking name, Sir Foch or Foch or whatever. People always tell me to say it different ways anyway. More or less, you know, my opinion on a whole matter, because I went through something similar. I wasn't a community contributor. However, before the heavy tank number 6 was actually a heavy tank number 6, I did have a media account for a few months. And, you know, one day after a patch, in comes a premium German tier 6 heavy tank. So basically the heavy tank number 6 before they implemented the Japanese nation. I made a video on it, and it got picked up by the World of Tanks blog things, and a lot of people watched it, and essentially same case as what happened to Sir Foch or Foch. More or less, you know, Wargaming contacted me and said, could you please take down this video? You know, this wasn't supposed to be, like, it's different circumstances. They said, you know, can you please take this down? You know, we did not authorize you to, you know, make a video of this tank. It wasn't supposed to be credited to you. If you don't take this down, we will, you know, basically issue, the way YouTube works, they'll issue a copyright infringement. If you, you know, don't comply and politely take it down. The only way for them to, you know, forcibly take things down is as a publisher and the, you know, copyright holder of World of Tanks. They essentially have different tools available to them, which, oh god, this guy is focusing on me instead of the tank literally right in front of him. Basically, they would flag it, and YouTube would essentially issue a strike. You get 3 strikes on your account for YouTube before essentially your account gets demonetized and you can't make money off of your videos anymore. Worst case scenario, you get banned. So 1 isn't anything, you know, it's going to ruin you. It's definitely bad, and it's kind of the nuclear option. However, you know, the same thing happened to me. You know, I told Wargaming, like, hey, I understand. Took my video down. Everything's been fine since then. Do I agree that Wargaming should have went that quickly to someone who's a community contributor? Probably not, because they knew what they were getting themselves into with him. However, the video in question that he did, you know, everyone knows, which my team's getting freaking destroyed here. Everyone knows how his videos are, And this one in particular, it wasn't even constructive. Which, thank you very much, Uber. That is extremely, or I guess the cat's out of the bag. Thank you very much, Fuzz. That's how generous that is. You got me to screw up there. Um, that is very generous of you. I'll have to let her know. She's currently out getting all fuzzed up. Nails, hair, and everything. Because tomorrow she has a pretty big day, you know, with her graduation. But pretty much, you know, being a community contributor, when you go into it, you have to sign something. Essentially, even though I'm not a community contributor, I have a essentially written agreement with. Sorry, Uber. You have to come up with another alias. I basically have a written agreement with Wargaming for my website and my videos to where I can, you know, monetize my content. And if there's any problems, you know, if YouTube's automatic system flags a video of mine, I have something to where I can basically submit it, and it shows that I have written permission from Wargaming to, you know, monetize their content. Which did 3,400 damage, but we're definitely gonna lose. Hey, little dog. Thought he was like choking on something. Alright, so I need to do a double up next. Why don't I hop into Type 4? Basically, with that, the only ground rules that Wargaming sets, because each game developer is different. Most, you know, they allow people to monetize their videos, like Let's Plays and stuff, live streams, you know, people doing commentary over gameplay. And it's kind of like fair use in a way, as long as it's not overly negative. Wargaming basically states whenever someone contacts them, and if you look up, can I monetize my videos for World of Tanks, they state you can't use their official videos and, like, you know, pictures and stuff, like just making stuff out of stuff that's on their channel already. And also, they've reserved the right to basically take down or, you know, ask you to take down, whether they need to forcibly do it or ask you to take down videos, which is something they don't have to do. They could just issue a strike against you through YouTube, and it'll forcibly take it down, you know, until it's reviewed and figured out if you're on the right or wrong side. They basically tell you they reserve the right to take down a video that they don't agree with. So being a community contributor even adds on top of that, to where technically, you know, you're not an employee of Wargaming, but you have even more, you know, strings attached than just that. That's, you know, that's the criteria I'm bound to, is, you know, Wargaming holds the right to, you know, basically take down anything that they don't particularly agree with, which, you know, you can criticize them and stuff, but the video in question, anyway, getting back to that, was pretty much just all negative and overly vicious. I think everyone can agree with that. Many of the points he made which I just got nailed. I shouldn't even have went across here. Oh, Lord. But, I just didn't think they had a spotter, but I guess their bat chat is spotting. Some of the points he made, are they correct? Sure. People can agree with that. However, for somebody, like most of you guys, if not all of you, are, you know, adults. You don't just straight up, you can't, you know, that's not how real life works. If you attack a company, friend, anybody, person in that matter, and, you know, that person, you know, say they're your boss or something, basically punishes you, they're totally allowed to do that and justified. Like, I made the analogy of, you know, I work in a restaurant, and I think it's a decent analogy. Say there's a waitress or server working at my restaurant, and say even half, 3/4 of the tables that they serve on, they bitch and complain about the management, the food sucks, they hate their job, and so on and so forth. Waitresses, not to say restaurant pays them nothing, but it's generally accepted in the US that they basically work for tips, more or less, and they make enough in tips to where most checks are voided out because they make so much in tips. Okay, that's annoying. Which in that case, say there's that server bad mouthing their job and everything, you fire them. You're completely within your rights to do that because they're not doing their job and something along those lines. That's my sense on what happened to him. However, you do have to remember, like, everyone's freaking out about this, which I make videos, I make a little bit of money off of them through ads. Honestly, you guys are very generous, and the tips are always appreciated because ads on Google don't pay too much. What Wargaming did was basically revoke this guy's community contributor status. So that doesn't do anything with him making money. That just means he doesn't get a media account to test out new features before other people. And more or less, he's in the same boat as me, to where, I don't have access to a media account, special stuff. I get on the sandbox server, I can't make videos from it, whereas community contributors can, so on and so forth. The issue of the copyright strike, which he took the video down so he did not receive one, is, he's still able to monetize his videos, make money off of them. So basically, he just, he got let go from a sweet little gig to where Wargaming was giving him free stuff for stuff that he was already making videos for, so on and so forth. He got a little too comfortable and, he bit the hand that was feeding him. So, to me, are they both wrong? They both did good things and bad. To me, Wargaming's more on the right side. But they definitely probably went a little bit too... why is Artie still aiming at me? They probably went a little bit too far too quick with the whole copyright thing, considering he is a community contributor, and they could have, because they have contact, there's easier contact between them and Wargaming. They could have went a different route quicker, and then if he didn't comply, go that route. But anyway, too much. But as far as the whole Wargaming copyright strike thing, even though I think Wargaming went that route a little too quickly, going back to what I said as far as what happened to me, more or less, they are well within, basically the rules that they outline for making videos in World of Tanks to do that. And threatening to use it, you could technically say they threatened to use that on me. However, all they were doing was just asking me to remove it, or else they would issue one, which is how, people with content that's copyright protected deal with that stuff on YouTube. So it's not out of the norm. Like, I get videos flagged every now and again from random people trying to claim, like, music in, like, Battlefield or something, and it's not even EA. Like, stuff like that. So, while Wargaming probably jumped the gun a little bit, I don't think they're in that much... Like, I think it's blown out of proportion, and it's just people whining just to whine. It's not like they straight up went completely crazy and nuked his YouTube account, took down all of his videos, demonetized all of them, because they could have done that instead of, just asking him to remove this one video that basically, you know what was in the video. Talk shit about YouTube, or not YouTube, Wargaming the whole time without actually forming a very complete opinion. So, bleh. No, it's essentially Randall. This is Sir Folks. He's the guy who makes like angry World of Tanks videos, more or less. Goodbye. Hello, Andre. Nice to see you. Which thank you very much, Pablo, for the subscription. In the end, honestly, I know a lot of different people are angry and whatnot. I think in the end, you know, him, Wargaming, and other people that are very like upset right now, they're all gonna, you know, basically hug and make up. Like, but like I said, I don't disagree with some of the points he made, but just think about interacting with people on a daily basis. I know things basically on the internet, people, I guess because it is the internet, they take things a little bit too far sometimes because it doesn't feel like you're talking to people, and you know, you can get very angry right, you know, too quickly. But imagine talking to somebody face to face or in a group and cursing every, say, 3 words, um, and just ranting like a crazy person and not really forming any complete sentences and just straight up cursing people out. Everyone would agree that that is definitely not acceptable, and you know, people like that, people don't want to be around. I get that people like his videos. However, he could have made a video slightly toned down a little bit, gotten the same point across, and people would, you know, basically still agree with his points without having to go through the whole thing of acting like a. I don't even want to say any curse words, but, you know, he was basically acting like a little brat in a way. I get that's the style of the videos that he makes, but as you guys know, I definitely do not make videos that way, so I'm probably a little bit more not understanding than some. So, anyway, moving along. Oh, I don't know how I talk about things like this and still stay alive. But it helps that I'm playing slower tanks right now. But you know, that's my whole opinion on things. You know, both sides are in, you know, are not completely in the right or the wrong. However, if I had to say who was more in the wrong, it would probably be the video maker in question, because you don't act like that to someone who is technically, I know they're not his boss, but technically the ones, you know, feeding you in a way, because you're the community contributor, and the rules outline pretty much state like you don't take things that far. It's, you know, I'm just gonna cap anyway. I'd rather just win, but and move on to the next match. I would say most people who watch my videos here, which congratulations, Floyd, you won back your coins you lost earlier. Most of you guys that watch me, I don't think you would like watching his videos, but you know, everyone has a different audience and different preference to what they like or don't like. But all right match. I could have got a little bit more damage, but since I'm talking, I just decided to sit on the cap. I run a, you know, rammer, optics, V stabilizer, pretty much the basic equipment I use on most tanks. Which next up, I have a Pershing request. Alrighty then. But hello everyone who had come in during that rant. I think I didn't miss any requests. I have the E50, Skoda, the M4, Chrysler K, Matilda, and KV2. Pretty much, Jerry. Yes. which thank you very much, Victor. But yeah, all your guys' points, that's pretty much what it boils down to. I just think, you know, people tend to overreact a lot in today's world, and specifically when you're online, you know, people can overreact a little too quickly because, you know, you're typing something out real quick, and yeah. See ya, Corey. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night. I think I said hello, Jeff, and hello, Katsy. But I don't know. I usually don't get involved in stuff like that. The reason why I talked about it is you know, I literally saw it everywhere today when I was scrolling through like all the websites I check and stuff like that, and it was getting a little bit too much in my opinion. I would like to shoot you. And of course I didn't shoot his hole. I gotta watch out for this IS-3. Glad I turned at the last second. Shit. Shoot my side. It's exactly where he's shooting. I'm basically keeping my front hole behind that one pillar. Yeah, I can add the Patriot. I do have the M4A1 on there, yes. Yeah, like I would say they definitely, as far as their premium model is going, you know, it definitely is declining as far as the quality, whether they're completely, say, like overpowered and unbalanced, or in the Chrysler Ks, a little bit just like, not to say copy and paste, but the tank could have been a little, basically implemented a little bit differently, in my opinion, rather than just slap a shit ton of armor on the front of it and call it a day. But, you know, World of Tanks is a free-to-play game, and like, compared to a lot of other free-to-play games out there, Wargaming, granted, they are going in the wrong direction. It's getting worse over the past year. They sadly still are better than a lot of other free-to-play games out there. And nobody, you know, in this stage of World of Tanks, this opinion, you know, it popped into my head. I won't say it's extremely well formed, but it kind of came to the front of my head when I was thinking about this before streaming here. Is, you know, World of Tanks is, I forget how many years old at this point, but, you know, it's what, 5+, you know, even, nah, it's more than that. So it's a pretty damn old game for games, you know, their lifespan, I should say. Most games, you know, get developed for 2-3 years and then they kind of die out and the community dies. World of Tanks, you know, it's still going strong. I think the population across all servers, it's still growing, to be honest. He's one-shottable, I'm not. At least he survived, though. Oh, nice job, KV2. So basically, at this point, we have over 500 tanks. Standard tanks, I believe. Not even just premiums. And then you add on premium tanks, and, you know, they sell old ones. They're still in the tech tree. Other ones are just in the premium shop, and they kind of, on a rotation, rotate through them. And especially during holidays, they sell a lot of ones that aren't normally for sale, you know, 7 days a week. So at this point, you know, they're turning out about a tier 8 premium, I think, every, you know, recently it's been a little bit more than, it's been about one a month If not, it's about a month and a half, 2 months. A new premium tank, like a major one, which pretty decent match here. Thank you for requesting the Persian. It's probably one of my more, it's one of my favorite tanks to play. I still like the E3 better, but Pershing's just easy to play with the gun depression, turret armor, good APCR round. Which let me get to the E50. So if you think about it in a way, they are... Alright, let me catch up on chat in a second before I get completely lost. That is a little bit different way to look at it, Mojo, yes. Which, hello, Mr. P. Ben, I've been streaming, for a little over a half hour right now. I forgot to put my countdown timer on, but I'm not sure when I'm ending tonight, to be honest. The pilot, yes I do, Andre. See, it's been, like you guys said, about six years. Which, Beaver, I can't turn it up anymore right now unless I pretty much, it'll get fuzzy if I turn it up more. I'm not the loudest person in the world, but, yeah, unfortunately, it's as loud as I can get it right now. I've been meaning to, I need to tweak OBS a bit to fix that. I can get it a little bit higher, but I can't just dial it up right now. But I am working on that. Hello, Dengas and Thomas. But, pretty much at this point, they are adding, a lot of premium tanks. And to me, in a way, eventually they're going to feel recycled. No one's forcing you to buy them. To me, in the Chrysler K, in this situation, it's not overpowered. To me, it's just an tank. If you don't like it, don't buy it. If it's another like Object 252U, then you get a little bit upset about it, or the Patriot, because those tanks are pretty damn good. But, again, it's all my opinion, and, whether you think I'm wrong or not, everyone's entitled to it. But I will agree, with the way that things are going, they are focusing a little bit too much on trying to squeeze money out of people via premium tanks. I will agree with that. At the same time, they still are adding, they're adding completely new graphics, frontline, ranked battle mode. They're adding new content to a game to where most games at this point, you'd see World of Tanks 2, and this one would pretty much be left and not support it anymore. I'm about to get completely destroyed here, but my team decided, this happened last stream too, to basically leave me out to dry, and yeah. I know I was going to die. I was either going to die from this guy down here and get flanked, or I was going to die pushing into him. But I pushed up to try to keep them behind this bridge, and my team pulled backwards. Thanks a lot. I probably shouldn't have pushed down their E50, but thought that I'd get a little bit more help than I did. Yes, I can add the tortoise on, Simon. Well, yes, the elimination of weak spots. Like, with that in mind, basically, the new balance head of Wargaming, I'll say, I don't know why they ever freaking hired this guy, because honestly, he was a YouTuber, popular over in like Eastern Europe, Russia, and Wargaming eventually hired him for some reason for balancing. I don't know why. Sorry, I'm soloing tonight, but I'm just trying to fit in a lot, Master. But tonight, usually you know, I wanna solo tonight only because right now I already drank 1 cup of coffee, and I'm on 2 now. I'm pretty much whooped. So I just want to keep a fast pace going tonight. But I'll completely agree. You know, they definitely balancing is kind of going downhill. Um, so as far as elimination of weak spots, some tanks, you know, specifically the German super heavy tanks now, the mouse line, Chrysler K here, at least frontally, the weak spots, yeah, they definitely are lacking for lower tiers. So it's just unfortunate, but yeah. Wash or dry brush your mushrooms? What do you mean, Randall? Fourth time watching from a truck? But as far as tier 9 premium tanks, don't think we'll ever see that in World of Tanks. Like, there'll be reward, I'm sure, like the T-55A, Object 260 at tier 10 for personal missions and, you know, clan war rewards. I'm sure there'll be reward premiums, but I don't think they'll ever sell a 9 or a 10 premium tank. Even if they get desperate, I don't think they would even do that. You know, they would be silly to. But they'll definitely be tier 9 and 10 reward tanks. They've been working on for a while. You know, more. Why did I do this? I already committed, but they've been working on, you know, adding more personal missions into the game for a while. So that's pretty much confirmed at this point. But I don't see anything wrong with personal mission tanks, and the clan war rewards I think are kind of stupid, but with no other option of buying them. So, thank you very much. That guy's getting blocked. Thanks for blocking him or timing him out. I'm pretty sure he was trying to type something else, but figured out it was in the blacklist. How the hell did I just get ammo-racked? I like this tank, but this is not the ideal spot for it, and for some reason I went that way. I should have went to the other side of the map, but I don't see this map at all anymore because I don't play a lot of mid-tiers. I'm kind of kicking myself because I always used to go to the 7-0 line because you're able. I say it a few times each stream. Sometimes I go to spots to where, you know, there's higher upside for you to do things rather than get stuck in a spot to where you're kind of bashing your head against the enemy directly, to where you're not able to really get much accomplished. At least I got a shot in on him, but yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I would say the previous person, like the previous balancing head of Wargaming, they didn't do a good job, but I think the problem with them is just they just didn't fucking do anything. Like, specifically to old tanks too. I would say, like, I can't say his name completely correct. The new guy, Murazer, when he makes changes, he buffs tanks, but they go a little bit too far. So then you're in a continual, you know, power creep mode to where, you know, you're continually buffing things, and then you need to buff other tanks, and it's a bad way of balancing. I think that's the problem Wargaming's having now. But sorry, that was a kind of a crappy match. I just got myself into that spot and couldn't get myself out. But some things like buffing the mouse and this, you know, the heavy tanks, big slow tanks, that needed to be done. But I think some of them went a little too far, so now you're stuck in a position of, do we nerf them? Do we leave them? Do we buff other tanks? It just, you know, it could have been handled a little bit differently. Unfortunately, I don't have any high tier French outside the LEFH, but I can add that. The 30v30. Yes, I have a plate on that. But I do have the tortoise as a request already. That is on there, so I can get to that. Oh god, my team is... I don't know where they're heading. Trying to... But as far as mushrooms go, honestly, the majority, I would say if not every mushroom, if you buy it from like a grocery store, like all the ones we get into the restaurant, they might look dirty, but if you read and even look at, say like, because I have to take, it's called Serve Safe, but health and safety courses, and like I'm certified, you know, basically I could run a restaurant on my own if I wanted to. Which, hello Abdul, nice to see you. If you look at the packaging and the safety stuff behind them, pretty much every single mushroom you buy in a store might look, like I said, look like it's dirty, but honestly, they are essentially sanitized and you cannot get sick from whatever's on them. I know they're grown in basically crap, but they are pre-washed and safe to eat, even if they look like they have a little bit of smuts on them. So as far as, you know, washing or brushing them, most of the time, you know, unless it's a mushroom that does not have that on the packaging, pretty much you just go over it with a damp rag or even a dry rag, and you just basically gently wipe the stuff off of it. You don't have to go crazy and like frickin' scrub it or anything, which I'm definitely gonna die here. My team, you know, it looked like they were gonna go like this area, so I'm like, oh, I'll set up over here. I didn't even look at the map after that. I was trying to frickin' read. I'll add this on to the request list again because that was pretty crappy too. Okay, but let me catch up on... I need to catch up on chat here so I stop getting distracted. But 30v30, basically Alan Rott. I like the first iteration. Basically, when they were testing the Normandy map with the objectives, respawning, stuff like that. However, I think the current test with 30v30 standard battles is poorly balanced. Doesn't make sense in the game. You know, basically heavy tanks, mediums, some mediums. You know, it's not balanced correctly in my opinion. It's basically just Artie and Lights just smacking the hell out of each other. Which I do see your challenge here, John, too. But I think the 30v30 standard battle is pretty crappy. But I can add the 183 on, which at this point I think I'm just gonna say I have enough requests. John, which tank would you like me to play for challenge the guru here that you purchased? But let me switch this over because I have a lot of requests here, guys, and yeah, the chat's moving so quick that it's hard for me just to keep up today because usually I don't stream on Saturdays because Saturday's my freaking busiest day at work. Alright, but trying to get down all the requests here before I move on. But I did get everyone's request here. Object 140? Okay. Illusions, I don't really have any time, honestly, outside of streaming to play, so right now, I do not. I did change it, if you saw. Um, Basically, I'm doing 2.5 times now the HP total. So what we got here is I had to do combined 4,750 basically combined now. I've been talking so much. Is he bona fide? Which, hello, Mr. D. And Tiny. Which, see you, Jerry. Thank you very much for watching. But you know, I will take that IS3 request. I don't think I can take any more requests tonight, guys, though. Just looking at I have like 14 requests right now. I don't think I can take any more requests. So I changed my overlay here to kind of state that. So basically right now, John, he purchased something in the chatbot shop. It's called Challenge the Guru. Essentially, I've got to do damage, blocked, and assist. Which, Abdul, I did get your request too. It's got a total at or over 2.5 times the HP total. So I have to do combined 4,750. It was at 2, then I bumped it up to 3. I think 2.5 is a good middle ground. I'm surprised I talked that much in the first hour here. But I haven't even been able to... I've been so busy getting ready for tomorrow and today at work. The only thing I've eaten today is like a handful of hors d'oeuvres and some freaking like fried chicken. Oh, the diet of a chef sometimes. Because when I got home, I had to cut the grass, clean, because we're throwing a party here tomorrow. But yeah, today I was busy as all hell. It was actually someone I went to high school with. I had a midday wedding today, right after breakfast, and basically I had to, put out everything. Not to say alone, but I was there mainly to just do the wedding today, which is a lot for one person to do. And then the other guys there cooking, I was helping them cook, breakfast, because it was really busy. There's I think almost 10 different weddings in Cape May just today. It's a big wedding weekend. I'm exhausted running for 10 hours straight, not eating. That's alright, Floyd. If you want me to play, I can play the LEFH. It's really long. I switched my OBS overlay. I'm not taking any more requests today, guys. I did switch that a few streams ago to where, when I pop that up, if I think I can take requests, I'll still write them down from time to time, but I don't think I'll be able to actually get to any. I just don't want people to request things if I can't get to them. So I'm also trying not to look at chat too much here because, oh god, don't ruin it! Stop hitting me with the heat! Because I got myself in a little sweet spot there with the Object 140. But I'm just being careful because it's an all tier 10 match. Don't want to get killed by the average bucket. It's just, I'm in a little precarious spot now with this E4 over here. Because he can just barely peek over and whack me. Luckily he missed. Which I am using a little bit more heat than I probably should here. It just bit me there. I would have penned that with APCR. Oh god, this is not good now. What do I do? I think I'm gonna go after the E4, but this might be a mistake because I can get hit from all their tanks across the river going out here. Oh god, I missed. Yep, I be screwed right now. I'm gonna do my little finagling here. Oh god, the bat chat's throwing gold at me. Oh lord. No, don't hit me. Not in the face. I'm kind of stuck here now. I don't even know if I reached the challenge total. I think I did. I think I might even hit the three times total. E4 finally got me. Well. Thank you very much, John. Well, no, I did get your request, Abdul, yes. But yeah, as far as, you know, I had to hit 4,750. I think even if it was, whatchamajig, the 3x, I still would have got it, I think. I'm just adding here. I can't add that much. Yeah, I just got over 7,000 there combined between all of them. Yeah, thank you very much for the challenge. I actually really like these. You know, they're fun. I'm actually thinking, like when I have time, it's probably not going to be until maybe Wednesday or Thursday. Adding like a lower tier challenge request. That way, you know, it's less upside, but more people will be able to challenge. Basically, a high risk, you know, low risk stuff like that. Only because, you know, it is fun on my part being able to do stuff like that. All right, so I have the Chrysler K up again for a request. Tank TV. I can write down the T49 request. I'm not sure if I can get to it though. But yeah, when you have that many people in a tier 10 match do 0 damage, there's no way that your team's gonna win. I did my best though. I did throw a little bit too much heat. Granted, it did come back to bite me, I would say, on 2 shots. APCR would have been better, but yeah. Gas station food with mozzarella sandwich. That's. I wish our gas stations had that food. Need to pick a T62A. Which, if I ever do change prices on anything, it shows me everything that people have bought here on my screen. I do credit you guys. Basically, Levi Biscuits back. Alright. I didn't even know what map I'm on right now. Piggly Wiggly in Wazoo City? I'm lost. How long is the grind to rank up in the chat? Basically 23. you know, the way I have ranks in Fussbot, I'm not sure if they're working for. I can assign ranks based off of coin totals and view time. I'm not sure if the coin one is working right now, because some people would be Levi's biscuit hedge fund manager at this point. Yes, one is called that. I have anything up to 500 hours watched right now for ranks. Basically, it starts at 0, then it goes 1 hour, and it keeps doubling. But once you start getting to the higher totals, I space them out by like 25 hours, I think. So ranks do, you know, they'll change every certain amount of times. I honestly just ran out of names, so I had to stop, and I had to space them out a little bit more than I probably would want to. I'm not the most creative person when it comes to naming things. But basically, the ranks are based off of watch time right now. Bread with cheese inside. That does sound a little bit odd, Dengas. Why am I fighting in T95 in this? All you have to do is... Dingo, I don't know why you're typing that. That's not a command. If you're trying to get biscuits, you can't award them to yourself. I would think the T95 shot. Even though I guess hit the frickin' wall. He does not have the big gun, no, so... Oh, maybe he does. And luckily he got a low roll. He has chucked frickin' gold out of that thing, too. Which, surprise, surprise, our frickin' team evaporated behind us, and we're gonna get flanked. Yeah. Not that I played the best right now, but... it's a little bit annoying because this other flank really needs to win it for us. They still haven't gotten that T95. It's probably a bad choice. I see the T-34 there. Oh, shit. Oh, Lord. Whew. He shot HE! He's gonna kill me with HE now, but... I got another little lick on him there. Yeah. I'm a gonzo. It is 8 o'clock here at night for me. Stump Cody with a movie line. You did win. Graham, I will give you... let me find you here. I will give you 1 biscuit for that. Just 1. Alright, so... I'm not even going to bother jumping out. Your biscuits? Whose biscuits? It's live right now, Rain, but it will re-upload as a normal video. Basically, it takes like two or so hours, which that T95 kind of want him to match, and that Type 59 did a really good job. I tried my best. I did better than I thought, honestly, coming up against tanks with armor. So next up on requests, I got the Matilda. Hop down some tiers here. But yeah, basically, with the way I stream on YouTube, automatically it re-uploads you know, to the same place. The only thing I haven't released yet, I have like 2 months worth at this point, is all the Ace Tanker matches. I always clip them out. They get saved as a separate video, but I haven't been able to edit them. I've been so short on time. Honestly, I can't wait to eat some dinner after the stream here. Ugh. Having off a Sunday actually creates more work for me at work, which sounds, you know, backwards, but working in a restaurant, ugh, the amount of crap I'm gonna go into Mondays gonna be pretty high. But it's all good. It's all for a good reason. I'm gonna go over here just because this is a slow tank. Yeah, I've never heard of that. It's like granted, I only, if I never get like a quote from a movie or something, I typically hear it, but only if it's like a, you know, mainstream movie. A lot of things just over my head. As far as that, World of Tanks, it's always kind of been like that, and somebody actually, I forget who, basically compiled data about it and put it in a really good way. I forget who it was. I saw it like it's almost a year ago at this point, but even in other games, like I've played a ton of multiplayer games, you know, I don't know how many years at this point. Most multiplayer games though, you know, once you get up, you know, say 1, 2, 3 people over another team, you know, in teams similar in size to this, they become lopsided just because, you know, the extra body is that much of an advantage over, you know, being down that, even if you say have better tanks left, stuff like that. And it's not even bad balancing. It's, you know, it comes down to if it's 15 versus 13, if the team with 15 plays it right, they can put 2 extra tanks in a spot where they're pushing, and the other team doesn't have a very good chance at retaliating. Like in this situation now, we just lost 4 tanks off the bat, which one team, you know, the chance of that happening to a team, you know, it's not super high, but unfortunately, when your team does it, you remember it more, and more or less, you know, it pretty much screws your team over because it makes it very freaking difficult to come back from it because the enemy just outnumbers you, has more guns pointing at you, typically has more HP than you, and, you know, there's just a lot of things in their favor. Thank you very much, John, for the tip. Honestly, I'm still waiting for Ryan to come home because she's going to be ecstatic. Or hopefully I said that right. Which I'm going to get torn to shreds because Matilda's a good tank, but against 5s, the armor doesn't hold up. I was kind of forced to... I didn't want to push up that far. I kind of wanted to think around back here and just pop people with my gun because there's no arty, but my team wasn't going to reset the cap. So, but thank you very much, John, and Fuzz again. That was very nice, both of you guys. So next up here is the KV2 for a tank request. Let me, I will copy and paste that into a browser actually so I don't forget the name of that. I'll take a look at it after the stream. I like George Clooney. Who doesn't like George Clooney? Rain. Chrysler K is, I would say it's balanced. It's actually a little bit, I would say it's a little bit, not to say underpowered, but it's balanced off of the T-32 and the M6 Mutant, which aren't considered the best tanks, you know, in Tier 8. So I would say it's actually balanced. I went over it in the first 20 minutes of the stream here. I basically reviewed the Chrysler K. Pretty much it gets a better gun, better frontal armor. However, the frontal armor is only better when you factor in the raw values, because the gun depression and rear turret basically make it necessary to have that better armor. I still think it should have a weak spot, like say a little one on the cupola or like a machine gun port on the hull. But the T-32, I would say the T-32 armor is better just because it has 10 degrees of gun depression versus 6, and the front turret, to where you can use your gun on hills, whereas the Chrysler K can't fight on anything except for flat terrain. So, you know, hopefully that is a good short little tidbit there. I was gonna say, I don't know what that person said, but thank you very much. I was gonna say, I will have to credit you, Fuzz, for your tip on Streamlabs. I'm guessing Kerwas is a curse word in some language. I actually went through and I put a bunch of Russian curse words on the blacklist for the chat bot, so it'll time people out for a couple minutes apiece, just because it'll help dealing with any of that. You don't like who? Oh, Joe Biden. Yeah, usually Ryan and I, we don't get the time to watch too many movies, but every now and again, you know, it's better. I like watching a movie if I'm like exhausted from work than, you know, like a TV show or something. Polish? Alright. So I'd say I didn't really recognize. Typically I can pick out like a language, but I didn't recognize that one. I probably should. I went to school with a few people. No, they weren't Polish. They're from Ukraine, which I don't even know what language they speak. I'm not the best when it comes to languages over across the pond. Spanish I can dabble in. You like how he pulled back when he saw a KB2 come up? Before that, he was like, I can take these guys on. Which my team is not. Oh god. Not doing a very good job at resetting here. Hello. You got another graduation tip? Oh. Just ditch me, dog. Hi.
You did say hi to me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said somebody tipped you for your graduation again.
Well, thank you. Hi, Levi.
Do you want to play one match?
I have sand in my bra.
I guess that's a good enough excuse for tonight.
I didn't realize the whole time I was getting my nails done, there was sand plastered to my neck.
Time to go reset somebody over here. go. That takes care of that. I made her go pick up sand because I need to get the... I'm setting up a bunch of umbrellas outside. Kind of ran out of stuff to put in the bottom of them. You weren't supposed to carry them above your head. I don't think she can hear me now. Hello, Johnny from Ukraine. So I'd say I've only watched Monty Python when I was in school. One of my I think history teachers showed it to us. But oh god, someone just drowned themselves. It was a pretty hilarious movie. Alright, they got the Hellcat here. Let me, before I forget, I'm gonna credit you, Fuzz, with your coins. Or Levi Biscuit, I should say. Which I would say a few of you that have a lot of coins, I gave you, I guess, fixed the whole rank problem I was running into. You have new ranks now. Pretty decent match though. Faulty, I do not get that, unfortunately. I don't get that reference. I only get the really big references from Monty Python. Unfortunately. Alright, so we got the Patriot up here. I have the Tortoise, LEFH, the Mouse, a Tank Destroyer, Tier 10 or 9, Medium, 183, M4A1 Rev, WZ111, FE215B, IS3, and a T49 for requests. I'll be able to get all of them done. So, which good night, Sees Fluck for the, or see ya. Good night. Hello, X-Max. But, I'll say, John, Uber, and Dana, you guys have new, ranks, when it comes to the stream here. I figured out why it wasn't showing up for the coins. Yeah, I've never heard of that. But I brought it up in the beginning. I want to bring it up again. I do have the Defender, yes. This upcoming Wednesday, I didn't think I'd have to change the stream time again, or else I would have updated the schedule. I'm still going to be streaming Wednesday. However, you know, because I do stream this upcoming Monday, but this upcoming Wednesday, I'm going to be streaming earlier than usual. It's going to... I'll know by next stream, which is Monday night. It's either going to be 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. When I stream, instead of a 9 a.m. start time, because I have something midday I have to do. I was going to say, Graham, I haven't gotten down to... Right now, I guess made one coin-based rank. There's a lot of you guys where I plan on making more. I just haven't figured out a title for any of that yet. I just came up with that one for the anything over 10,000 right now. gonna switch a little bit over this way. I can't really pen him. Oh god, I'm completely lost here, and I've already lost half my team. So I'm just sitting here like, what do I do here? I've pretty much already lost. There's no way that we come back from this, which they're spamming frantically, which you're going here because you're the person that freaking rushed out there and got killed in the first freaking minute. Which I'm pretty much this is gonna be a crappy match. I'm a little ticked off because, you know, I went out here because I thought this flank would be weak, which it was a little bit, but not as weak as I thought it would be. And by the time I even looked at the mini-map, we lost, like, I think 6 tanks. Like, it was literally not even possible if I had went over there to do anything differently. We still would have gotten crushed. It's just depressing. Like, it's just, there's been a lot of matches today where pretty much we've lost in the first minute. Lost control in the chat. I think I have, because I don't get anything that you guys are talking about. It's all good though. As long as you guys are having fun, I'm alright with it. I think the only rule I've ever said for chat is basically be civil and just don't spam, which nobody's doing, so. I'm just ticked off at my team right here because, yeah, I went to a flank and I didn't do anything, but when that many people die that quickly, something went wrong. Like, yes, the enemy pushed on that side, but more importantly, a huge chunk of our team basically was in the wrong spot.
The person who asked if that was a fridge, if you keep paper towels in the fridge, then yes, it's a fridge.
It wasn't just one person, it was a lot of people.
Okay, well, for the people.
So I'd say our paper towels are right next to our milk in there, so. Yeah, I'm just gonna let them cap out, because. Yeah. What can you do when you're down by that many tanks? Alright, let's get to the next request here. Sorry for whoever requested that, but yeah. Like, granted, I didn't do too much. These guys did a good job, but we're literally down. It was 6 by the time I saw it. I would say 5 tanks from the get-go. So, yeah, let's move on here to the tortoise. It's my next tank up here. Xmax, I can add it to the request list. Sorry, I did see. I kind see that. If you want to do a lot of damage to one, if you're asking where to shoot them, with like HE, I guess you're asking, you try to hit the roof armor on them. But I can add it to the request list, but I'm not really taking requests anymore right now because I have a ton of tanks. And like, I plan on streaming for at least another hour, but I have tank requests to where they're basically going to fill it all up. I haven't even done any tanks I'm really grinding yet, too. I've done like 2. I'll do my best, though. He's gonna hit my cupola. I just know it. I'm not sitting back there where that grill is. He can get some shots off there, but more or less, this defender kind of screwed me. If he was on the left, I'd push up, but he's on the right. Yeah, like I'm gonna get the doubles at the end if there's time, but yeah, I want to try to get all the requests here done for you guys. I don't even feel bad using APCR right now because you gotta do what you gotta do. Screaming helps. If nobody ever does that, when you scream, you get hit less and damage less. I know, it's crazy, right? We keep toilet paper, paper towels in our fridge back there. I don't mind it. You know, I've said it plenty of times. You know, reason I've streamed is, you know, if some of you guys were here at the beginning when I started streaming, I like playing tanks that you guys like to see. So since I took all the requests here, I will definitely get to them all. Thank you very much, Kosa, for the subscription. Eating and laughing is not a good combination. I'm gonna get... Yeah. Come on, guys, push. They all went... Why'd they go over there? The reason I pushed over is they were engaging the E75. No. It's actually not a fridge back there. It's just... This was a couple months ago. A few people thought it was a fridge right outside the door here. It's really just a linen closet. It's kind of like our little running joke. I was actually gonna put like, make it look like a fridge and see if anybody noticed, honestly. But unfortunately for their team, if you see, we have, I guess we had 6 TDs, but their TDs, the ones that are left, they were sitting too far back and didn't help. As a TD, even if you're meant to snipe and play at very far ranges, you gotta put yourself in a useful spot. I make that mistake sometimes. I put myself in a bad spot, and you're one of the last left alive. And you might have damage, but you didn't help your team. Unfortunately, their TDs set up over here, they weren't able to help the most important part of the map, which without Artie, your team really needs to win this spot to keep your numbers. Thank you very much, XMax, for the subscription. Which, nice little quick win here. Definitely better than the last match. Alright, so I will play this SPG here, the LEFH. So I've got the mouse up next. I have a TD, tier 9 or 10 medium, 183, M4A1, WZ111, FV215B, and IS3. I will mix a couple of those requests up because I know a couple people have 2 requests in there. So that way I can get to everybody's in a timely manner. Which, thank you very much, Victor, for the tip. I am now very... I am rich in Canadian dollars. I think I said it before. I like... It's interesting when I get tipped in other currency. I think it's going to sound cheesy, but fun in a way. Like, I've had I forget what the Japanese currency is. I've had people tip me in that before. There was another one too. Somewhere over in like near India and Middle East somewhere. I forget. It's always interesting, but Thank you very much, Victor. Oh shit, can I get the arty? Probably not. I was too busy reveling in my Canadian dollars. But I hit him. I would say you're very good with voices, Graham. Even though this is coming from someone who barely can get up and talk in the morning. Myself. I wish, Ben. Graham could do something like that. X-Max, I put the Oni and the OI on my tank request list, but I play them in order as to when they're requested. I will try to get to them. I'm just not sure if I can. You know, I will try to get to them by the end of the stream now. But basically, it's first come, first serve. Ooh, I actually hit him. Awesome. No, I did not, Crazed. I'll add it on there, though. I must have missed it. Sorry about that. Unless you're lying. I don't think you're lying. You could do that, Uber. Ah, Lord. I need to get myself in a different spot. Yen. Okay, thanks, Sean. I didn't want to say yen and then offend somebody if it's like Chinese or something. Not that I think people should get offended by that, but... Alright. Let's see if I can hit this guy. Awesome. You owe me M4 improved. Why don't we make this fun and load up a heat round? Even though I guess 0 damage to him. Oh. You're so lucky. Come on. No arties hitting you. Move up. I don't want to hit the AT2 with heat because I will not penetrate him. Shit, I get switched over to HE. Duh. I fail. Whoops. Sorry about that, guys. That's pretty loud. I just clicked wrong. But on my agenda is definitely I need to fix some of my audio levels. It's a little bit harder than you might imagine. Because I have basically 4 different things I need to switch to make them balance out between each other. And then Windows will update and screw everything up. Yep. I will get to it, Crazed. Yeah. Sorry that I missed it. But at least I'll play it now that you're awake. I did a little bit of damage, but at least my team got a W there. So mouse is the next request here. Which, let me... kind of forgot to re-up this. Sounds interesting, Graham. Hello, Tim. Nice to see a lot of you guys, even though, you know, it's a different day than I usually stream. Oh shit, I guess... Ooh, I just thought I exited out of my chat there. I'm like, oh god. Takes me like 20 minutes to set up my other window here for the stream. Yeah, some maps pose are SPGs. They're like, so they're basically forced to spawn in a certain spot. I noticed that too. That map, I either spawn all the way in the back or off to one of the sides all the way. Okie dokie. Pretty much I'm stuck going to one spot in the mouse on this map. I can't fight up here. Granted, there's no arty, but there's just too many ifs. Mainly it's the turret and the lack of gun depression for me to go in the field. We'll say this is my first time I've drank 2 cups of coffee in my life. I guess that's what happens when you're sprinting around a kitchen for a wedding. Even though I was really surprised and glad. It was, you know, as someone, I haven't seen him since high school, but, you know, as someone I went to high school with, they announced him in because I was kind of creeping in the kitchen looking through to see when I should fire the food. And they announced his name. I'm like, huh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I haven't seen him in years. Alright, they put a lot of people in the center and the north, so I'm just gonna... Even though they kind of wrecked him. They could have a lot of TDs in the back here. I had to make a little bit of room for the OHO. Yep, there's a Yag Panther 2. I should be fine. I might get hit once in the side from him, but... Shit, I screwed. I was aiming for his track and brain did not make my mouse move where I wanted it to. I should have double checked my shot. I was trying to hit him in the track so I'd track him, which that's not very nice. Which they're using gold, I'm using gold. I've got more HP than them. That's what makes the mouse so freaking broken. It's got everything except for mobility and size for it now. I'm content with killing this E5 if I can keep my HP. Let's let him shoot me. I should be able to... he's... There we go. I even know... Nah, I just use my repair kit. I was about to say, I know I can bounce his gold round angled like this. I was just trying to spot him. He's Dunzo now. Shoot, please. Here we go. Don't have to worry too much about this guy. His premium round can't touch me as long as I stay angled. But nice little win here. Whenever you push from the south though, always keep in mind that there's going to be someone camping in their base. That IS-3 just went all the way around to flank us. So you always point your frontal armor towards their base, even if you're going to get shot by other tanks. You're pretty much guaranteed to get hit from their base. So you never know how many tanks are over there. Chef slang in the kitchen? Pretty much, yes. Chef slang, Mexican slang. I don't know how prevalent it is. If this is anyone from the stream, send me a friend request. Not that I'm platooning, but you know, feel free to send me a friend request. Most amount of damage in the match. Centaurian did a damn good job. Good job, dude. And a pretty good amount of block damage. So my next request up here is a TD. That's not US. So yeah, I haven't played this in a while. Hopefully this is all right for you. Just pick something different here. All right, I'm gonna take a second here. I don't have safe stowage on the crew yet. Hello, Rick. Yes, it is Uber. Some people's messages go through right away. Some I get after like a day. It's not entirely fixed yet, the friends list. They at least, it seems like they got it up and running to where you can see your friends are online right now. But messages are still a little wonky. What I was going to say though is I don't know how prevalent it is, but whenever someone sneezes, basically the Mexicans, the dishwashers and stuff, they don't say like salud like you would in Spanish, like bless you. They say Sancho. Basically, it's every time. It's kind of, they even do it to themselves. It's funny because basically how they explained it is it's kind of like their slang version of bless you, because whenever you sneeze, it means there's someone named Sancho at your house screwing your girlfriend or wife. It's just funny when they do it. We have one older guy that cooks for us, and he'll sneeze and they're like Sancho, and he looks at him like, what? it's just ironic and funny. Probably because Wargaming hates him, John. I don't know though. Outside of, they don't have a lot of heavy tanks that would work at tier 8 that Wargaming haven't already designated for premiums, unfortunately. Which I don't know where I want to go right now because we don't have anyone spawning, but I guess this M25 is getting over there. This is a good map for Dicker Max, but only if you get spots. Honestly, I actually had a situation like that 2 days ago at this point. Pretty much the person wanted to talk, and if I have time, I always go out there and ask them what was wrong and how I can fix it, whatnot. Pretty much it was our fault on that point. The other guy I was working with screwed something up pretty badly, and pretty much went out, apologized. He comped their food, their whole table. Ask if you can remake stuff, and basically say sorry. We realized we screwed up. We fixed it. Fixed the problem, what have you, and usually they're pretty understanding. Because, like you said, it does happen. Like humans, you're never perfect. Hello, Orlando. Nice to see you. Hopefully, you're having a good day. Oh, you and the FE215B. It's a very difficult line, yes. I would say the best tank in that line's probably the Conqueror. Goodbye. This person in specific, though, hopefully, I don't think it was anyone who watches the stream here. God, no. Unfortunately, this person, in the food, how we messed it up, they thought, like, they were gonna die because it wasn't what they ordered. Not that they were allergic to it, but I think they were like a hypochondriac, so they were freaking out a little too much. I was like asking me like, "Am I gonna die? Am I gonna get food poisoning?" Like, no, you're fine. Like, it's just the wrong stuff came out, and you know it shouldn't have been made that way. It wasn't anything that's gonna kill you. But I always do my best, you know. Pretty much, you know, it's almost always outside of people. There are some people we've had before, like, try to get free meals from basically, like, we've had someone put I think it was like a drywall screw or something in their food. It was at dinner time when I worked dinner like 4 or 5 years ago, and there are no screws in our entire building, nor, you know, the thing that we specifically cooked. There's no way that a screw got into the food like that, because basically health code, there's certain materials and stuff that have to be used when you're like in a kitchen. You can't just randomly, like, say, bolt up a bunch of drywall and stuff and start cooking in a restaurant. Like, no, everything's a specific like material, and yeah. But these people were very blatant about it, and you know, we comped their food, but we kindly asked them to leave. I'm spotted now, I think. Yep. Cody's about to die. Huh, that's a lot of power there, Orlando. Hopefully you got some solar panels for that energy bill. Even though, you know, if you make money off of it, I'm sure that covers it. Unfortunately, I just didn't have anything to frickin' shoot at in the Dicker Max here. That's what you kind of need. Alright, so next up I'm going to play the 183. And then... Whoops, I'm going completely past it. I'm going to play the WZ-111. I got a Tier 9 or 10 medium, M4A1, FV-215B, an IS-3, T-49, Oni, and a Black Prince too. I'll probably mix the Black Prince in earlier since I missed that request. Basically, the UK line's a little hard because the Churchills, when they were introduced, you know, their armor was pretty good, and this, you know, basically the design of their armor, there's a bunch of different thicknesses and armor strengths all over the place, and the tracks are very large to soak up shots. But with penetration rising over time and premium rounds more prevalent, they've never been buffed to kind of take that into account. So they're pretty difficult to play. Once you get the upgraded Tier 8 Heavy, that's pretty decent. It's got good gun depression, solid gun, but more so up until the Conqueror, the alpha damage is really low. You have good penetration, good rate of fire, but low alpha, which doesn't always work for heavies. So oftentimes you're like outgunned, your armor sometimes works, your speed's not great. That makes them hard. I think the Conqueror is one of the better Tier 9s though, for heavy tanks. It's just, it's pretty awesome. Pretty much it's a better M103 in almost every way. But the Tier 10 FV-215B is, it's really good depending on where you situate yourself, but oftentimes, you know, there's no spot for you to set up and deal damage in that tank. That's its problem. I didn't promise. Wargaming, that is still in their plans to my knowledge. But unfortunately, they're not. The last they commented on it, they're not replacing the FE215B with the Chieftain like initially they had planned. They're planning a side branch. Whether it starts from tier 8 or their other option was starting at tier 6 and putting in, I think it's the Valiant heavy tanks. So essentially massive heavy tanks, I think they are. Really slow too. Not exactly sure about that, but it is in their plans for PC, but who knows when the hell they're gonna implement it at this point. Oh god. Who wants to play chicken with T110E4? Thank you, Artie. Fortunately, we have Artie and they don't. This T49 is kind of ruining my plan because he keeps spotting me and I can't like flick out here and hit a T30. There we go. I got them back a little bit. Don't know how long that's gonna last before this T49 gets me. Not that he's gonna kill me in one shot, but never mind, he drowned. Just like the rest of the Gonjasauruses. I think basically the Churchill tanks, even, you know, considering the Black Prince, they need, I'd say they'd be fine with a little bit more alpha given to them and probably a little bit more HP, and I think they'd be balanced in today's game. But if I had to balance a lot of tanks, I would nerf a crap ton of tanks. I know that would piss a lot of people off, but basically instead of buffing every tank, I would nerf the top tanks down and give minor buffs to the worst tanks. That way everything kind of goes towards the middle instead of just continually buffing everything, because that never works. You gotta buff and nerf things. You can't give everyone, you know, you can't give every tank massive buffs and expect things to remain balanced. I just gave you 10,000 Levi biscuits. Granted, it was based off of your very generous tip, though. Thank you very much, Archeon, for the subscription. Nocath, I think. I'm not going to make a lot of credits here because I just swapped over to AP right now, I think. Thank you very much, Michael P, for watching. Have a good night. But bang, you're dead. Well, the thing about premium tanks, Wargaming can change them. It's mainly based around EU. Hello, Toma. Nice to see you again. It's mainly based around EU protection laws for people, you know, buying tanks and then them, you know, switching them. It's not specifically about World of Tanks, but mainly items in general for the EU. Which, let me get past. Pretty decent match. Their 430 really was the only one that did much. Alright, so I was going to play the WZ-111 up next. You know, they have changed premium tanks before, specifically the Type 59. They never nerfed it like some people think they did. They rebalanced it a little bit and actually buffed it a little bit. Believe it or not, they basically changed the gun around and actually gave it more alpha. And nerfed the mobility just a little bit. But overall, it was considered a buff, and its armor got a little bit better. This was way, way, way back when. Hello, Snowman. Nice to see you. Basically, premium tanks, they can change them. They even moved the LEF-H 18B2 up a tier. You know, it used to be tier 4 when I purchased it. So they can rebalance premium tanks. It is a slippery slope for them to do that, though, because if people as a whole consider it a nerf, which, you know, the Super Persian went through that, they gave the option to get a complete refund with gold through that. And some people took the refund basically to get their gold's worth, essentially, for what they spent money wise on it. It's, you know, that the reason they don't do it is they don't want to go through that process of having, you know, backlash from some people, others being perfectly fine with it, some complaining that they buffed it. You know, it's just, it's too much for them to do. Personally, as far as premiums go, I feel like, you know, some of the newer ones are a tad bit too good. However, everything is still premium tank wise within reason to where they can balance all normal tanks around the current premiums in the game and still have a balanced game. They would have to buff some of the older premium tanks, which they, you know, have done in recent patches. Like say the WZ 111 here, they've recently buffed that. It's basically, they're not exactly doing the best at that specific thing. You know, they're buffing some premiums up a little bit, releasing very good premiums, and then they overbuff normal tanks, and then leave some old normal tanks, you know, pretty damn poor. So, you know, it's just kind of all over the place. But honestly, I don't think there's any premium in the game where if they balance standard tanks around, say, like the Patriot, they could have a balanced game. Something like that, the 252U. Because to me, if you look at them, I think in a way, even though they're a premium tank, they are balanced for their tier when you take into account every tank tier 8 through 10, let's say. However, older tier 8s, they're pretty crappy. Like, say, the T-32 against the Patriot. And that's more balancing, never touching the T-32 for, you know, say 6 years, than the 252U and Patriot being, say, overpowered. Because when you stack them up against newer tier 8s, you know, they're nothing outside of, you know, say a standard deviation as far as balancing. But that's just my opinion. Some people might disagree with that, but this isn't no means me, you know, sucking up to Wargaming either. I still think, you know, balancing, they have a long ways to go to fix things. It's just, it was very nice to see them buff German tanks because a lot of them needed it. But unfortunately, you know, the 9.19, it's like they're not touching American tanks, Russian tanks. You know, they're not touching other nations that also need that same treatment. It's like a game of chicken. I don't like the role I'm in here. Somebody, come on, M103, you guys put me out of my misery. No. Yeah. I did a little bit of damage, but well. Hello, Lemoncello. Nice to see you. The Type 59 you could purchase, John. But yeah, nice to see you. Long time no see. Basically, the Type 59, it was the first Tier 8 premium medium tank. I think it was like the fourth Tier 8 premium tank. Hopefully I'm not mistaken. Because back when that was introduced, there was only... I could be wrong by a patch or two here. There was only Russia, Germany, USA as far as nations. I think the Type 59 came before French tanks, believe it or not. I could be off. or maybe it was very soon after France was introduced. But Type 59 was introduced without any other Chinese tanks for like, it feels like almost a year. There was no other Chinese branch or anything even like discussed. Alright, so after this was a tier 9 medium, I believe. Alright. Why don't I hop into a tank I'm grinding? I'll play the Leopard prototype. But basically, with that said, there weren't that many options to pick for tier 8s. They never released the tier 8. Is Levi nearby? Yes. He is currently snuggled in his little bed. At least I did some damage there. But there was never a premium medium tank before the Type 59. Back then, matchmaking, tier 5s could see tier 8s, and they saw them almost every single match, because the matchmaker wasn't plus or minus 2. It was plus or minus 3 back then. And for light tanks, tier 5 lights saw tier 10. So matchmaker was all screwed up. Already only went up to tier 8. Mediums went up to tier 9, and TDs went up to tier 9. So with that said, the Type 59 was introduced, and it was a pretty good medium. It had preferential matchmaking, and everyone bought it. So you had like 10 of them on a team, and then the poor souls without Type 59s, because they would all just wolf pack together. You'd have like M4 Shermans and stuff going up against like 4 or 5 Type 59s, and they couldn't penetrate them because there were no premium rounds for credits back then. So it was broken in a sense because you faced a lot of tanks lower tier than it. You had no premium rounds, and there were so many of them that you couldn't deal with their frontal armor because it was a T-54, a tier lower, that didn't see tier 10s. So that's when they pulled it from the shop, not soon thereafter, but after a while. And it went through 2 changes, I believe, in 2 patches, to where they not nerfed it, but tweaked it a little bit to basically lower its mobility. They tweaked the armor a little bit, so it was a little bit easier to damage in spots, but overall had better armor. And tweaked the gun to where it got a little bit less accurate, I believe, but it gained a little bit of, or not a little bit, but a decent amount of alpha damage without losing DPM. So it was overall buff. But the stigma of like the Type 59 being overpowered came from mainly the matchmaking and lack of premium rounds. Nowadays, it's a good premium, but I wouldn't say it's anything special. You're better off playing like, say, a Mutz or another tier 8 premium medium. Thank you very much, Poser. I'll tip him after the battle here. But, I play it every now and again now, but its gun it's pretty antiquated, considering... Oh god, I'm about to get... Thank you for missing. Considering the armor isn't as good as it used to be. Hello again, Simon. Simon, the way the chat bot, I can credit you time, since I don't think you knew. Every 30 minutes, the only way it can track you watching the stream is if you... I knew he was going to shoot me, so I might as well just stick here and get damage on him. Is if you chat once in the chat, once every 30 minutes. Whether you just type a command or say hi or request a tank, that's the only way it can track you and know that you're watching. Unfortunately, YouTube, it doesn't have it set up to where the chat bot can know that you're watching just based on you watching, if that makes sense. Echo, I'm streaming for at least another 30 minutes. I might go a little bit longer. It depends on how fast I get the tank requests done. Yes, I did hear about him. I went on I talked about that a lot in the beginning of the stream. I don't want to talk as much about it now, but the too long don't read version is both sides, screwed up a little bit, and both sides are also right, but coming from my personal opinion and experience, because I also make videos, he went a little bit too far, and you don't basically bite the hand that feeds you that badly. You can voice your opinion, but if you just straight out, chew basically, not your employer, because they're not, but they still give him a lot of stuff, you should expect something like that to happen. But anyway, I don't feel like going into that again, because I think it's blown out of proportion, to be honest. I think people are overreacting. Like, to me, it's between him and Wargaming, and nobody else should really, not to say give a shit, and sorry for my language, but I don't think it's that big of a... Hello, Clarence, which I'm gonna have to go get a treat, so I'll be back in a second here. Alright, little dog, you got a tip. Come on, little buddy. Come here. No? Come on. He's like, fine, I'll get up. Are you a good buddy? Give me your paw. No? Think he's like, you just woke me up. There you go. Think he has a hairball too. You alright, little dog? I didn't even have to wake him up. When I got up, he's like, you're leaving me. But Levi, thanks you very much for the tip, poser. But I did go over for the first like 20 minutes of the video. Clarence, that will be tomorrow, which is why I'm streaming today instead of tomorrow. She's graduating. I did go over the first 20 minutes about the Chrysler K. Honestly, I'll go over it again actually towards the end here if anyone's interested. I'll do it a little bit quicker than earlier though. It's honestly balanced. Initially, I actually thought it was pretty crappy, the tank. So I don't know why anyone would think it's overpowered if you actually look at the whole tank. Is it poorly implemented? I'll still say yes, because they could have balanced it a little bit differently rather than slap a shit ton of armor on it. Because it had worse armor several super tests ago before they implemented it. But I would say it's balanced. He's an old dog, but yes. He honestly, I could hear him over there. He was grooming himself, so he had a little bit of hair stuck in his mouth. He's like obsessive, like he's on a lot of medication because he has a couple skin issues, even outside of his allergies, that basically desensitize his skin a little bit. But he still he grooms himself like a cat. He was doing a little bit of that over there. I just didn't yell at him. I was letting him be. So, hello, George. I will, Clarence. T-25-2, I don't think it's a very good tank. I would say playing it though, definitely try to fight on slightly hilly terrain with it, because it doesn't have too many strengths. It's really like a generalist tank. Um, so don't get yourself too close to fights either, because you know if you come across something with, say, a lot of armor or a high alpha gun, if you're too close, you're gonna get, you know, outplayed there just based on the tank statistics or characteristics. If you catch yourself too close to like a medium that has like higher DPM than you, stuff like that, it's gonna outplay you in that area just based on the tank characteristics too. Thank you very much, Bald Baby, for the tip. Thank you. Which hello, Jerly. He probably would chew up a golf ball if I let him. He's obsessive with round objects, like legit obsessive. He's not allowed to have like tennis balls and stuff outside of like special occasions, because he will remember where you took it from him or where you put it, and he will like try to run and sprint for it, like the first chance he gets. But yeah, unfortunately, tank requests are full. I still have a lot to do, and I'm gonna do my best to get all of them done here. Unfortunately, I'm surprised that Emil 1 isn't over here, because he could fight very well on this. I don't have turret armor, unfortunately, but come on, dude. Emil 1, you got turret armor. You could fight up here. It's like I'm, you know, biting off a little bit more than I'm comfortable doing in this tank, but gotta do what I gotta do. Hello, Thomas. Nice to see you. Levi loves his, we call it his computer time. He, like, legitimately gets happy when I come in here to stream. He knows he can, you know, take a nap for a couple hours. Need to pull back a little bit. Ooh, sneaky, sneaky. Gotcha, though. No, I'm still visible. So he can one-shot me. I don't need heat here, but okay. At least it worked. Alright, but I still have, for requests, the FE215, or the FE215B Heavy. I've got the IS-3, T-49, I'm gonna die. Oh god, I gotta bounce. How did I bounce him? I have no idea. T-49, Oni, and a Black Prince request. Up next, I'll actually do the Black Prince, since I did miss your request earlier. Then I'll get that FE215B. He probably would try to play World of Tanks if I let him. What? How did my shot miss, A? And 2, why did he pick me out instead of the tanks around him? Like, they had more HP, too. Oh, well. Still did 2,500 damage. Which, hi, Backwoods. Nice to see you. Alright, don't think this is anyone from the stream, but let me know if it is. At least we did win the Leopard match there. Alright, so I said I was going to do the Black Prince up next. I'll try to get him. If I think he'd sit in the seat, he doesn't like sitting on here. I think because it's squishy, it hurts him to sit here. I'd put him here and try to get him to play. That would kind of be funny. Yeah, I just don't get why he aimed at me, because he knew he was going to die. Why not get more HP shooting a meal 1? Or more damage, you know? He had actual HP on his tank. Unless he was trying to help his team out by taking out a tank, but at that point, I don't think they're going to win. Which, my next stream is coming up on Monday. I won't be streaming tomorrow night. I have a very busy day tomorrow, which is why I'm streaming tonight. But Wednesday coming up, I mentioned it a few times. I'm going to be streaming earlier on Wednesday. So after Monday's stream, I'll schedule it. It's either going to be 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. my time. So either an hour or 2 earlier than usual. I'm going to be streaming earlier in the day, just because I have something midday I have to do for work, and I won't be able to stream. Usually I have off Wednesday. Technically I have off from the restaurant, but I have to go to a another meeting for work. Use a mod to Photoshop or get a picture of Levi in instead of the other dog. A cat created new Windows shortcuts. We have someone has a resident cat during the stream too. Whenever he platoons, it decides it wants to block his screen. Sounds like my cat when I lived at my parents' house. That's why I never streamed there. I'd be making videos, like normal recordings for non-live stream videos, and I'd have to record it like 3 or 4 times because the cat's like, pet me. Or like, I want to play whatever you're playing. Alright, I need to pull back here because at least we have a Malshin on my left, so that should be pretty covered there. I'm going to see if I can catch this 110, which he should pull, maybe not. They got... Okay. I gotta do something before this T-95 gets up here. Yeah, that was a stupid shot. I think I'm safe. Oh, wait, as far as how I'm angled here. Not that he can even shoot me. Alright. T-95 is probably pushing up at this point, so I'm going to fall all the way back and go up that way. No, I am not, Clarence. Oh, hi 110. I was over angled there. Black Prince, you never want to angle more than like 10 degrees or so. Both of the shots I took damage on, I over angled stupidly. And I guess shot way too low stupidly. I just baited him into shooting there. I'm just gonna keep him tracked because I have people behind him now. Pretty much just pull back to where he can't shoot your... Ah, he damaged me there. Little bugger. You must know where... There's a couple spots on Churchill tanks where you can shoot them beneath the tracks and it's really thin. But in a lot of tanks, if you over angle and you cover your side hull, which he gets hit me there, they'll just bounce off your frontal armor. And then I guess use a repair kit, move up, take a shot. You get a free shot that way. Cats are keyboard masters? Yes. Kind of miss my cat being around though. She's still alive, but Ryan's allergic to cats, so she can't live with us. I would kind of agree with that, Carl, but however, like my family's cat I was just talking about, she, like we got her, it was my sister's, she got her as a kitten, One of her boyfriends got her it. My dad wasn't too thrilled, but essentially our dog at the time raised her, so she was more like a dog, or she still is, than a cat. Like, she acts basically like a dog outside of, you can't exactly take her for walks, but she does follow you when you go on walks near my parents' house. But yeah, she's probably the least cat I've ever seen, which is a good thing. But she is, oh, how old is she? She is 14, I think, 14 or 15. So she's up there. I don't know if I'd do that, Clarence, but I don't think she would like that. I don't think I'd want to do something like that publicly either. It's not really who Ryan and I are, though. Thanks for the suggestion, though. That's good. Cats do bury their own poop outside. That's a plus. Hopefully I don't flip myself, Randall. But yes, next up is the T49. Then I have an Oni and a Black Prince. Or no, I played the Black Prince. So I have a T49 and Oni, and I might do one double, and that might be it for the stream. Honestly, though, we train my parents' cat to where if you do a clicking noise, doesn't matter how far away she is. You can say her name, but my parents were amazed. Like, you just click with your tongue and your teeth. She'll come running across, like, they have like 2 or 3 acres. She'll just come sprinting to the door knowing that she has to come in. The only time she never comes is if it's like downpouring and then you have to go get her, or she's like trapped somewhere. She was up a tree a couple times, but sorry, I like cats. Honestly, that might be a joke, but most expiration dates are actually made up. You can use stuff for, at least a few months after the expiration date. Use by dates, honestly, means that something pretty much can't expire, but it'll just, like, taste a little bit differently or feel differently than what the company actually wants their product to be portrayed like. They're typically a suggestion, too. But it is tough for someone who doesn't know if something's good or bad to eat to kind of push off those dates, though. This frickin' Type 61 got himself up on the goddamn hill, and I can't see him. Little bit annoying. Yeah, my cat, she'd play fetch, but with typical cat mice. She'd get them from outside, or my parents live in an old house, so if they came inside, and she'd put them at my computer desk, like, here you go, human, I got this for you. It was kind of disgusting, but I appreciated it. She gave me it instead of everybody else. Sell by dates, I would say they're a little bit more on point than expiration and use by. Because usually sell by dates, because they're more for the store than the consumer, I feel like. They're typically, sell by dates mean that something's going to go bad within a week or two. Use by, or expiration. Typically, you can go a month over, depending on what it is. I'm gonna die by this Lorraine. Nope. He had T10 got me with heat. I was trying to get more damage off, but my team, they didn't push this flank. I was trying to do stuff in the center, but that Type 61 got in the spot where there's 2 or 3 bushes in between him and you, so you can't see him. And this side lost. So we didn't win any flanks, so yeah. Alright, so next up, T49. But unfortunately, IS-3, the armor sucks on it, so I wasn't able to do anything. I just had to go where my team open for me, which was like nowhere. I don't know what you're trying to sell, but I don't think anybody wants to buy a cat over a live stream video. Yes. Granted, one time I didn't notice there was a mouse underneath my computer desk for at least a week. That was a little disgusting. That was not a good surprise. Meantime, she's probably laying next to me every day like, you haven't seen it yet? Like, come on, dude. Alright. Getting to the end of the requests here. I'm gonna finish them. I got the Oni up next. I might not do a tank double, only because it's 9:30 and oh, I'm like beat. I'm not gonna push as far as I usually do because I literally don't have anybody up here. My cat, she'd bring dead ones to you too, but outside they're evil sometimes, cats. She would catch like little moles or mice and basically just play with them, make them lay next to her, and if they tried to run away, she'd hit it and make it lay next to her again. I caught her doing that a few times. I was like, really, cat? Like, you're like torturing the poor thing. So I let him go. Okay. If you want to flip, you might see one here. Almost. Good night, Graham. Have a nice day tomorrow. Cats are surprisingly... Give some cats credit. Like my dog, or my brother, not my dog. My brother had or he still has, his dog's like 110 pounds, one of them. And it met my cat for the first time, or our family's cat, and the cat beat the shit out of it and it ran out of the house from the 3rd floor. I'm dead. This is a really... I'll try to play the T49 again. I just really played that map wrong. Alright. Oni is up next. I barely even can talk sentences right now. Usually I finish at 9, and I'm asleep right now. But I'm gonna do my best to power through. I'll play the Oni, then I'll hop back into the T49. Alright. See a crazy missile. Oh god, now for me to get you guys to yawn. Which I will, come to think of it, I will go over the Chrysler again once more. Just because there's a lot of misinformation again going out. Oh, I know, Randall, which is usually why I try not to drink it. I needed it today, mainly because I didn't really eat like I should have. Good night, Gary. Thanks for watching. Kind of wish I went to the other side. But we got a lot of people over there at least. I think you could do more on the 8-0 side than this side, typically. That will happen, Victor. No problem, John. I didn't need stitches, but the worst my cat ever hurt me was when she got stuck up like a, probably I'd say 20 feet up in a tree. Could not get down because another cat chased her up it. And I got a ladder and, you know, she jumped on me and basically clawed the hell out of me. But I wasn't angry. See you, John. But yeah, I'll definitely play a T-49 one time more here after this match. I'll go over to Chrysler a little bit and do a little raffle at the end here too. Is anybody gonna move up here? I just need to be careful because this IS is still here, but if I can get a shot on that IS-3, it can open up a little bit for us here. Oh god. Well, that's unfortunate if they won't. Well, you know, situations like that, if a cat gets up there, typically, you know, they can get down. This in question, like, I'm not just going to leave my cat up a tree with no branches or, you know, have her jump out and hurt herself if I can go up there and get her. Whew. That was not a good shot. I have no idea what they're doing over there. But we need to win this flank because... yeah, and I keep pulling out over-angled. It can kind of side scrape, but... there's a very small margin of how you can side scrape, and honestly, for tanks like the Chrysler that have, like, its side armor isn't covered by its tracks a lot, just freaking throw a HE round at it, and its gun sucks enough to where usually your gun will be better than it. So if you whack it, say with a HE round from, like, say this gun, you're gonna do a few hundred damage of, you know, per HE round, even if you don't get a clean shot. Just because its side armor is just flat and open. That's what a lot of people don't realize that they can do. Like, they feel like HE rounds are like taboo, I feel like. I bathed my cat once. Or no, twice. Once on purpose, and the other time she got someone threw like one of those sticky fly traps on the ground, and she got it stuck on her side. So we had to shave it off of her and give her a bath. That time she was receptive about it because she was pretty pissed off. I'm about to get... thank you for sparing me. I'm still going to shoot you. Uh-oh, I got his attention again. Yeah. If you have a cat there staring at you, though, and you have a ladder to get to it, and it's your cat, and it's like, save me. You go up and get it. Granted, I'm also the same person to where when I see we have a few like crows, like a little family of them out back of our restaurant, I'm nice, and in the morning I put out a little like if we have any scraps from, say, if we clean like fish or like veggies that they'll eat, I'll put out a little bit, and you know, they'll swoop down and get it. They don't get anything special, only if we have it, but I don't think too many people would do that. Luckily, though, our restaurant behind it, my dad has a house and my aunt does, so I put it near their house. Coincidentally enough, I also bring home veggie, like, say, romaine hearts, like the ends of them you can't use, and Levi loves it. When we go for a walk, our neighborhood has I call it the duck pond because that's what we called it when I was growing up, and there's like a like a little pond in our neighborhood surrounded by like a field nestled in like the center, and there's like these two ducks that come running every time they see us, and Levi, he used to growl at them and be afraid, but now he loves them, and we throw him some veggies and stuff because bread's not good for ducks, it'll make them sick. It's kind of funny though. He went from like being scared shitless and running away from them to now like they're his best friends, and he'll kind of run and find them. So yes, I got off the cap for once, guys. I'm kind of surprised. Yeah. You'd be surprised. We actually had one place, which I know this is very stereotype. We had a Chinese buffet restaurant get closed down. The sign and everything's up still on it. It's been like 2 years. They got closed down. The health inspector went in, and they legitimately, I don't think they sold them, but I think the staff there ate them, but it made the newspaper. Like, initially I thought it was some sort of like joke, but they had frozen cats in the freezer. Yeah. Instant close down. Like, initially I heard it from like people, delivery drivers and stuff coming in, and then it hit the newspaper, and I'm like, really? I never ate there before. Fortunately, I don't think I'd ever eat at a Chinese buffet. I know, that was like the first time I ever got off of Cap to go just get more damage like that. Those things are freaking smart as hell. I had to staple up a little screen. Hello, Viserius, over on Twitch. I had to staple up a freaking screen because they keep figuring out how to push open my fence gate to get in my backyard. It's pissing me off. Thank you very much, Nick in your face, for your subscription. Give them credit though; they find their ways in. Granted, oh, they scare the shit out of me when I open up the restaurant in the morning, and when it gets cold out, they basically there's a back area in our restaurant, like outside of like the locked area when we lock up at night. They try to climb into the dumpsters because they're warm from all the trash in there. It's disgusting. They like push open everything, and I open up the back door, and there'll be like 3 of them like staring at me because it's like 5 feet away from the back door. It scares the living shit out of me. They're nice though. I just leave them be, and then like the wait staff come in, they all freak out. I'm like, just don't go near them. They're not gonna hurt you. Poor things are like freezing to death. But usually when that happens, we get them to go somewhere else. And it's not something you want hanging around your restaurant. We get someone to basically move them to a different area, you know, away from the place, and, you know, basically the woods. Alright, so this is going a little bit too well. There we go. I got hit by Artie. That's more about what I was expecting there. Please don't hit me. Come on, dude. We're both light tanks. Leave me alone. Thank you. Might be a little bit better match to finish with, unless this Sheridan wrecks me. Whoa, can we talk about this? Thanks. Thanks, team. That's the kind of teamwork you like to see. Get off the cap. I'm not one of those people. That was a bad shot. I should have shot him in the side. It's M48. Ah. I pretty much knew I was going to shoot him just as he pulled in front of me. Just let him cap. You're not hurting anybody from capping. I only have 200 and... I actually have 230 now, I think. Well, you're gonna beat me to the Type 5, John. This was my last match, though. Mastery Master Class Confederate Award. Most amount of damage in the match. Just by a hair, but still. Not too bad for a T-49. Thing has a killer gun on it. That and the Sheridan. American tanks, probably the best guns across all the terrain. And then for light tanks at tier 9 and 10, even tier 8. And then Chinese ones, I like their guns too, but they don't have any gun depression. But let me start a raffle here. Live in the dumpster. Pretty much, yeah. Let me start a raffle here, and I'll quickly go over the Chrysler K, since I think some people missed it. Let me start this. Let me do 2 minutes, and the winner gets 200 Levi Biscuits. You're only able to enter once here. But as far as the Chrysler K here, some people say it's overpowered. I don't think so. Initially, I thought it was really bad, but after playing it a few times here and looking at the stats, so basically looking at things here, it's got the most DPM out of the two other tanks that share its gun. You know, it beats the T-32 by a pinch and beats the M6. However, the M6 has preferential matchmaking, so you know, it's a little bit more closer than you would think. Dispersion's a lot better than these two, especially while moving around. Aiming time's better. However, -6 degrees of gun depression compared to -10 for both of these. And they have forward mounted turrets, which thank you very much, Jorick, for the subscription. So the Chrysler has a rear mounted turret, which makes that -6 even worse because it can't use it off to the sides or the rear, because the armor, you know, pretty much sucks on the side and rear. More or less, you know, the gun on this is better because it needs to be better because it can't fight anywhere outside of flat terrain or, you know, around corners. And even then, the T-32 can fight around corners. M6 can. You just need to, you know, you have to angle a little bit differently and pull back further. But they can still do it. Hit points, T-32 is a little bit ahead. Armor wise, I'll get to that in a second. But mobility, Chrysler's, you know, faster in both of these. You know, definitely more nimble than them. Which it's got a couple seconds left on the Raffle here. Concealment, nothing special there. And the view range, T-32 beats out the Chrysler, and the M6 is a little bit less. But thank you very much, Low-Key. Which, congratulations, Rick, for winning. I think you won another one, like a stream or two ago, too. That must really like you. But getting to the armor real quick, before I sign off here. Essentially, armor-wise, the Chrysler... right. The Chrysler does have really good frontal armor, which I think it does need a weak spot. You know, maybe, you know, the little machine gun, but essentially the lower plate is the weakest. 211 millimeters of effective armor. That's the main weak spot. When you move to the M6, it's got really damn good armor. The only weak spot's around 200 millimeters below the mantlet here, and the cupola is around like 130, 140, so that's a bit weaker. But the armor is still damn good considering when you don't face tier 9 or you don't face tier 10s in it, like the Chrysler and the T-32 does. So the armor on this holds up very well. But pretty much the Chrysler's armor is good enough to kind of protect you against 9s, but not against tier 10s. They'll be able to pick you apart if they can hit the lower plate, flat parts of the frontal turret, or they can spam gold at you like every high tier player does. The T-32, however, the whole armor on the front is pretty much equal to the lower plate of the Chrysler K. The lower plate on the T-32 is a little bit weaker, but the turret is pretty much immune like the Chrysler K's armor. However, the gun depression is the big thing here that a lot of people overlook. The T-32 and the M6 have 10 degrees of gun depression and turrets towards the front of the tank, so they can fight pretty much anywhere on the map. And, you know, since their turrets are strong, and specifically the T-32 doesn't have many weak spots on the front turret outside of tier 10 shooting at it or gold rounds, the Chrysler K can't do that. So if you find yourself on a map that you can't fight on level terrain or like around a corner, you're pretty much screwed because people are going to nail your lower plate and your gun isn't exactly the best, whereas the T-32 M6 can hold down and soak up a ton of shots while getting a shot in here or there. Chrysler K can't do that. So really, when you look at them, Chrysler K, you know, it's best on level ground and, you know, head-on brawling, but weaker when it comes to fighting on uneven terrain and basically spots to where the T-32 and the M6 can do a lot more rolls than the Chrysler, whereas this is just a straightforward point to front armor at the enemy and advance. So it's just a different way of thinking. So like, yes, the Chrysler can side scrape. However, as I kind of pointed out, so can the M6 and so can the T-32. They do have to expose a little bit more. Mainly the T-32 can, because the side armor is covered by tracks. You can still side scrape at them. The Chrysler, it's a little bit easier with the turret, but pretty much any tank can side scrape if done correctly. But Chinukai is a good tank, Dengas. Which, thank you very much, guys. I'm hoping tomorrow goes well, too. We do have to make a bit of a trip to get to her graduation, but thank you again for watching. My next stream is going to be Monday night, and then Wednesday is going to be a little bit earlier for the stream. Thank you very much for the donations and tips, guys. It's really appreciated, especially the ones to Ryan. Graduating with her master's here. It's a pretty big thing for her. So thank you again. Thanks for watching, and have a good one. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys Monday, and I'm gonna try to enjoy myself tomorrow. So thanks again for watching, and see you guys around. Have a good night.